Alright, hey YouTube. It's been a while since I put up a video, so I thought I'd do one I've been meaning to do for a little while now on my latest build, which is a AR-10 in 308 Winchester with a 12.5-inch barrel and pistol lower receiver, all that good stuff that is currently illegal, but who knows what will happen tomorrow. But anyways, yeah, so one of the reasons I wanted to do this video is because of the upper here that I got. It was one of the only ones I could find in stock. This was my 2020 gun build. And yeah, so I just went with what I could find and wanted to give some words of advice and warning to anybody who may be looking at it. So the upper receiver on this build is a Moriarty Arms, 12.5 inch, I believe they call it their claw upper receiver. It came with the bolt carrier, or I got it with the bolt carrier group, charging handle, and all that pre-assembled. And you might notice the silver screws. Those I had to get from my local hardware store, I think Lowe's, because the screws that came on it, which, yeah, you can see one of them still right there, little black guys, were not long enough to actually hold the handguard into place. So the handguard would start loosening up as you were shooting and being able to turn like this. So that wasn't great. Spent $750 on the upper receiver, just the upper receiver with the bolt carrier group and charging handle. Not a bad price for a 308, but with the amount of headache that this thing has been, definitely not something I would recommend doing. If you can find them, the Aero Precision ones are a lot better if you're trying to stay within a budget. If not, I would definitely just try to save up the extra money and get a CMMG. I think it's they have it in their Banshee line and a couple others. Well, one of their shorty 308s or the POF. I can't think of the name of that gun now, but they're 10.5-inch 308, and there's a couple other ones on the market right now, like Springfield Saint. I know comes in a short barrel 308. Not a huge fan of Springfield, but if you like them, go for it, I guess. But yeah, so that was the easiest of the issues I had with this to fix. The first issue, going back to just when I bought it, it was 2020. Everything's crazy, so lead times were insane. Knew that going into it. Not a problem there. Like I said, I ordered it with the charging handle and the bolt carrier group. When I got the upper receiver in, I had my charging handle, but no bolt carrier group. There was no email, no note, no nothing telling me what was going on with my bolt carrier group. And, it let me check out with everything at the same time. So I had to get a hold of them. Well, on the invoice, it gives you a number to call. Call that number. Number's been disconnected, tells you to email them. So I emailed them. Thankfully, did not take them terribly long to get back to me. However, when I emailed them, the first email I received back says that it will take them 2 weeks to respond to me. Again, on its own, not terrible considering the craziness that 2020 was and 2020 has been, and things are going, people are swamped. I get that. I've worked firearm retail for many years. I still work in retail right now, is doing HVAC supply and plumbing supply and things like that. I get it. It's hard to get stuff. It's hard to do everything. My biggest issue was the fact that I ordered it with it, and when I finally got a hold of them, they tell me it's a back-ordered part, and they'll ship it out as soon as they get it. Again, that's all well, fine, and good if you tell me this when I purchased it or when you realize the issue. I should not have to hunt you down to figure out where my $200 or $190 bolt carrier group is. I should be getting an email saying, hey, upper's on its way, but this is back ordered. We will ship it out as soon as we can. Okay? That's my biggest issue right now with Moriarty Arms. Not to mention the fact, like I said, I had to go to the hardware store and get these screws because the screws they shipped with it were shit and didn't hold the handguard on properly. Going on beyond that, when I first got it, put it on this lower. This is an Aero Precision lower, M5 lower, and I love this thing. That Aero Precision is my go-to brand for most things. They're reasonably priced. Never have I had an issue out of anything Aero. So when I get the money, I do plan on buying the Arrow 12.5 inch if I can ever find one in stock. Anyways, going back to this upper. When I got in, the fit and finish looked good off the bat. Everything looked okay. Couldn't tell about the screws because, like I said, it didn't happen until I was firing it. Put it on this lower, took it out to the range, and the way I like to test most of my guns out is give them a cleaning if they need it, oil it, whatever, and shoot steel case through it. Because if it will run the low power steel case, that's usually going to be harder for a gun to run anyways. I know it'll run brass without a problem. So I took it out there. And I brought some brass just in case, just because I know some guns need to break in. And like I said, it's a brand new lower, brand new buffer spring. I bought it as an assembled lower. So buffer spring, buffer, all that stuff's brand new. So I didn't know if the spring may have been too tight or anything like that. So I brought some brass just in case I need to run that through there to break it in a little bit to get it to run. Well, I'm shooting the Wolf through it. That's my steel case that I usually am running. Steel is either Wolf or Monarch. Those are the two I shoot the most of. But anyways, I was running it. Ran the first, I think, like 20 rounds beautifully. I'm like, oh, hell yeah. Works, no issues, because I've done my research. I knew a short barrel 308, they can be a little finicky. So I was prepared for that. What I wasn't prepared for, let's see the gas tube? Let's see if I can get some extra light on there. 1 second. Yeah, so you see your gas tube? You see the gas block? All looks good, right? Well, this gas block has got set screws in it. In and of itself, not a problem if it's attached properly. It wasn't. After the first 20 rounds, that gas block was doing this. Ding, 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 ding. It was loose. It wasn't properly attached. So I didn't realize that. I was trying to troubleshoot it, checked my bolt out, checked all that stuff out, took the handguard off to do an inspection once I got back to my house of the gas system, see how that was looking, because from the receiver side, everything looked good. Pop that open, and it's just sitting there. Boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I tightened that back down. Now we're good. When you're buying an upper receiver, at the bare minimum, you should be able to put a gas block on if someone is assembling this, right? That's the way I feel about it. Especially, again, just this upper was $750. That's a budget setup, yeah, for 308. But that doesn't mean that you can have a loose gas block or shitty screws. This is simple stuff. Again, not to say anything of the fact that this, oh, it's doing it again. There it is, right there. Look at this. That's the muzzle device. I shouldn't be able to take that off without a tool. When I got it, there was no crush washer on there. So I had to go out and buy a crush washer. And I don't have the torque wrench, that's why I bought it completed, to tighten this down to the proper inch pounds. So I'm going to have to take that in now and get that fixed. So it's a bunch of these little issues, sorry for the camera angle, that have made me say I will never buy anything from Moriarty Arms ever again. And again, if they had contacted me and said, hey, bulk carrier group's on back order, I can live with that. I can work with that. It's the lack of communication for someone that took my money, promising me a product, and then didn't follow through. All right, so now that rant's out of the way about the company, let's talk about the gun. Let's talk about my setup on it real quick. And here in a little bit, I'll probably be doing another video on the support gear that I have to go with this setup. So obviously got my mag. That's my 308 loadout bag. That's the 308 rifle case. If you've watched some of my older videos, you may recognize the rifle case as not a rifle case. But anyways, starting in the back, I've got a Bowtac sling on here. This is a real cheap thing. I think I got this for like $10 or less. And it's made in the USA. It's a nice little setup. Does what I need it to do. Not as nice as what I run on my primary gun or my secondary gun, my 2AR, so my 300 Blackout and my 5.56 gun. Those both are running the Magpul MS1 slings. I believe. They're MS1 padded slings. And out of all the slings that I've used so far, that is definitely my favorite. But getting back to this sling holds up really well. My buddy's running one on his AR. I've got one on my AK. I'm really happy with them. If you've watched some of my videos, you may have gathered by now that I do believe every gun that is going to be a primary use gun or a serious use gun, serious in quotation marks, because that, yeah. Trust this now that I've put the finishing touches on it and put it back together, but that's a whole nother thing. But anyways, I really shouldn't say but as much. So getting back to it, I run a sling on all my long guns or long gun setup things. Getting back to it, this SBA3 pistol brace, carbine buffer tube, buffer spring. I do not know the buffer weight that was in here. Like I said, this was a complete Arrow upper, and that's why I went with it, is because I knew Arrow knew what they were doing, and this would work for me. Standard mil-spec fire control group. This is some Magpul grip. I don't remember which one. That'll eventually get swapped out to the K2. I gotta stop saying I'm catching myself. All those years of public speaking coming back to me. I've got the UTG. Let's get you a better angle. Adjust the light again. Nope, that didn't work. Now, this is one of the UTG low profile aluminum rear sights. I do like the aluminum sights from UTG. One of the things I love about them, you can see it right there. Right there, my thumb is on it. That's the lock button. So it actually locks in the upward position. And I like that because I don't have to worry about if it's up, it getting knocked down. Okay, next up, we've got the Vortex. What is this? This is the Crossfire 2, 1-4 by 24. I was looking at this when I was working at the gun shop here in town that I was working at for a little bit. I worked at two different places selling guns. One was Academy Sports, the other one was a local mom and pop kind of shop. And we got some of these in when I was working there. And it wasn't a bad price. I think it was $200 for the scope, and I think I spent another 60 or 70 bucks on the mount, something like that. But what sold me on this was the eye relief, and I doubt you'll be able to see anything through it, but let's just give it a shot anyways. Let's see. Absolutely not. Turn that off. Yeah, that's not gonna work. But what sold me on it was the eye relief, because I can be basically back here on it and still have a really good picture through it. It doesn't get the eyeshadow, the little black ring that does like that on there. It doesn't get that easily. I saw on the box it says amazing eye relief, and I went, okay, whatever. Popped it out of the box, held it up just like that out in front of my eye, pretty good distance off, and I went, oh Lord, they weren't kidding. It actually had the good eye relief. So I went with that. It does have an illuminated reticle. That's the power button up here. Doesn't get super bright, and the battery life on it sucks. So I don't really use that. I just run it usually dialed down to the 1 power, which is probably why I can see it through it. I had it at 4, but I do like being able to dial it up. My eyesight isn't as keen as I'd like it to be, so being able to dial a little bit of power really helps me focus on what I'm shooting at. And this is the Vortex cantilever mount, and it's holding up great. So all that's been great. Like I said, fixed all that stuff. Another thing I didn't super like about this rail, which I knew going into it, but this is the only rail option they had, was the lack of Picatinny right through here. And the reason I didn't like that is because one of the things I want to do with this is set it up for night vision, which again is one of the reasons I'm going to get the Arrow Precision one whenever I can get the money and find one of those in stock at the same time. That'll give me the rail space I need to mount, the IR designators and illuminators and all that stuff. Up here at the front, we've got another UTG flip up. And you can see it locks in. It's got a little bit of move, but it ain't coming down. Reach over, push the button, folds right back down out of the way. So I like that. And then again, they're low profile ones, so it gets it out of the way. Don't really get any blockage from this in my sight picture. You can see I did a bad job mounting that. I gotta go back in and tighten that down. And on this side, you may recognize this little weapon light from a deal video I did a while back, showing some deals that I got, and I didn't know what I was going to put that on. It came with the nice flip lever Picatinny mount. I don't like that just because it sets too far off. So I went on Amazon and I bought this. It's a Haley Strategic mount, which is holding up pretty well. The issue with that is I didn't pay attention, and this is M-Lock. I bought the key mod one, and so the way I had to do this to get it mounted is take sandpaper and sand off the aluminum the nub for the key mod. But I did that. It's locked up pretty nice right now. I do need to tighten it down again a little bit because I try to bring my Allen keys, but I forget sometimes, so I can shoot, tighten down all my accessories and parts and stuff that hang off my guns, just to make sure everything's nice and tight and torqued down appropriately. One thing I will note, these right here with the wrench supplied, super easy to install and have not had any issues with that moving. Then right down here I have an ergo grip, vertical grip. And if you're wondering if it's legal, yes it is, because it's a 12.5-inch barrel, which means it's not a pistol, it's not a rifle, it is a firearm. I know I called it pistol in the beginning, that's my mistake. So because of that, I can have this on there and use it like a hand stop. So yeah, that's my 308 AR-10 setup that I'm running right now. This right here is my 25 round, one of my 25 round Magpul mags, loaded up with some hunting ammo, some 308 obviously. Yeah, now that I've done the work to it and all that kind of stuff, she runs like a top. It chews up steel cased ammo. Matter of fact, this is from my last range day last weekend. You can see that's the Monarch, that's the Wolf, respectively. Let's see, nothing really looks too bad on there. You can see some of the extractor marks, but the rims all look good. Necks all look good. This thing just chews up anything, spits it back out, runs like a top. But like I said, if you're looking to do something like this, I would stay away from Moriarty arms, but that's my recommendation with my single item I've gotten from them. They could have other items that are stellar and work phenomenally, but this is the one experience I've had with them and wasn't great. If y'all have other experiences with them, please sound off below. Let me know, let others know. But yeah, if you got any questions, throw them in the comments below. Do my best to get back with you. If y'all want to see those other kits, let me know. I'll probably speed up the video process if a couple of y'all want to see that. Yeah, appreciate y'all tuning in to the 232 guys that actually follow me. Guys and girls, I don't know. I didn't look at my analytics to see who's following me. I appreciate it. It does mean a lot. I didn't think this channel would ever get beyond like 10 subscribers, so being at 230 actually really impressed me, and it's kind of driven me to do a couple more of these videos. If y'all want to support me, just let me know. We'll figure something out. If you got video ideas or requests, something you want to see me talk about, because you know I do my little rant videos. I go for a drive or whatever and rant about whatever I'm thinking about or dealing with or whatever. Let me know. If you want to see some of my guys back on here and us talking about some stuff, let me know. But yeah, appreciate y'all staying to the end. Peace out.